A decades-old conflict has taken the shape of a series of deadly airstrikes. Israel and Palestine are once again at odds. Both sides pounded each other with missile rockets. While Israel's Iron Dome saved its people, Palestinians ran for cover. There are conflicting reports of the death toll. Palestinian health authorities claim 10 people had lost their lives, including a 5-year-old, and 79 people were left with injuries, whereas Israel claims it has killed 15 Palestinians. WION is not in a position to verify either of the claims. However, both sides have confirmed that the top commander of the Palestinian Islamic group was killed in the attack. Taser al-Jabari was living in a high-rise tower in Gaza City. Just hours after his killing, thousands of Palestinians poured out onto the streets to hold a funeral procession. This Palestinian Islamic group has had deep links with Hamas. Both are some of the strongest groups operating in Gaza. PIJ specifically is backed by Iran, an arch rival of Israel. Prime Minister Yair Lapid defended the airstrike, saying Israel was forced to launch a preemptive operation because it posed a security threat.
Carried out a precise counter-terror operation against an immediate threat. Our fight is not with the people of Gaza. Islamic Jihad is an Iranian proxy that wants to destroy the state of Israel and kill innocent Israelis. The head of Islamic Jihad is in Tehran as we speak. We will do whatever it takes to defend our people.
Israeli forces have arrested 20 people so far who have been accused of terrorist activities. And the IDF claims that 19 of these belong to the PIJ group. Soon after the strike, the Gaza-based Islamic group vowed to hit back. It fired more than 100 rockets into Israel, and most were intercepted by the Iron Dome missile defense shield. Now, sirens were heard blaring throughout the night, and residents were urged to stay in bomb shelters. There were no immediate reports of casualties.
So I'm actually filming this from inside a bomb shelter. Residents across Israel, but mainly around the Tel Aviv, Jerusalem, Beersheba areas and around the southern areas bordering Gaza have been told to prepare their bomb shelters, not to gather in large groups over the weekend and to stay as close as possible to the shelters. We've just heard here in Ra'anana that the mayor has announced that they have been opening public shelters across the city and again urging residents not to go too far from shelters, as Palestinian Islamic Jihad has vowed to take revenge.
Now, for more on this, we were earlier joined by Arsen Otrovsky from Tel Aviv, who is the attorney and CEO of the International Legal Forum. Listen in.
Look, I should say, first of all, this is not an attack on the Palestinian people in any way. This is a specific coordinated counterterrorism operation against the Palestinian Islamic Jihad terror group. The same group, as you noted in your introduction, of course, that is backed and directed by Iran. As we speak right now, the leader of the Palestinian Islamic Jihad is actually in Tehran, literally as we speak this moment. Unfortunately, the strike was necessary, and it only happened after a number of days of relentless threats by Palestinian Islamic Jihad, specifically the head of their northern command, Taser al-Jabari, who you mentioned as well. This is a man who was the head of the operations in the north. He is responsible for carrying out and implementing a number of terror attacks on Israeli civilians. And at the time of his being taken out by the Israeli forces yesterday afternoon, he was in the process of carrying out an imminent attack as well. So this, unfortunately, came only after Israel was faced with no options but to conduct a preemptive strike in order to prevent a greater catastrophe.
WION, now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.